You are listening to the We Are Not Safe for Work podcast.
See, this
Your
automatically makes me
hosts,
smile.
Renee and Nadja, will dive into all the different reasons why some entrepreneurs become unemployable.
It's funny, I just saw my preview or the preview,
Uh-huh.
and it's just me like bopping along, like in the corner.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
great. That's
goodness.
great. Okay.
Hi, Renee.
Okay. Hi, Nadja.
How's it
I
going?
missed you.
I missed you too. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever, and I don't know why, because I feel like we've been like texting back and forth
Yeah,
a lot,
absolutely. Yeah,
but I haven't seen you.
I know.
And I think that's just because that's what it was on Monday. My allergies
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
were horrendous, and I woke up with like this debilitating sinus headache, and
Mm-hmm.
I was just
Mm-hmm.
thinking, you know what? I'm going to lay back down. I'm going to take some medication, hopefully it eases up. And it took a long time for it to finally fade.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you.
Texas weatherman.
I'll tell you, it's Texas weather and also here anyway, it's pollution too. And
Yeah.
which is really weird because I mean, if you like looked at my house on a map, it kind of to me looks like I live in the country.
Yeah, it does actually. You're right.
Yeah. So to
Yep.
think that I know here specifically we're struggling with pollution so much is a weird thing
Yeah.
considering. But it's construction pollution. So it's
Yeah.
weird. It's a weird
Which
it's a
is
weird
almost
temporary.
worse if you think about it. It's
Oh,
like,
it's bad. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The other night I have been checking the it's amazing the cool shit you can find out now on your phone. So I every day now before I go for a walk, I make the decision to walk or not walk based upon the air quality.
Yeah. Okay.
And so the other night, all I did was walk outside to drag Jubal back in from barking, our dog,
Okay.
and I had a headache.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was like it was that bad, and I was like, that is just stupid. That
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. Anyway.
Oh,
So
man.
let's talk about all our topics. I wrote down a list of topics. I don't know that we're going to get to them all.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know how much time you have. I have the rest of my life. So or until I get really hungry, whichever comes first. Um, but
I'm relatively flexible today, actually. I do need to meet with a client at some point this afternoon, but there's no rush because
okay,
yeah,
okay.
like I
So
don't have a set end time today like I normally do.
right. Okay, good. Here's what I wrote down. CapCut terms of service.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Um, eliminating a process and how AI replaced me. Um, how Naja's using ChatGPT right now. Um, the lead story, and from my perspective, is how my friend has um AI posting, writing and posting content on her behalf.
Okay.
Okay. Wild shit right there, by the way. And then one that I wrote down that I didn't even tell you about is how I use ChatGPT for physical tech support to plug in this new microphone or this old
Oh,
microphone, but change my microphone.
yeah.
That
Okay.
was one of the wildest experiences
Was
I
it?
have had with AI yet.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about it so bad.
Okay.
Um, and then of course, whatever all of this brings up.
Right, right.
So here we are. Okay. So I want to start with what I think is I want people to wrap their head around what I'm about to show them because I think at first it may not seem like it is as big of a deal as it is. But we do know, based upon what Sam Altman is saying, that and there's so much going on right now. Go ahead.
Oh no, because now that you're saying it, I'm like, I think I know what it is now. Because when you originally brought it up, the terms and services,
Oh,
I
that. Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. And then like as you're talking right now, I was like, wait, I think I actually do know what that is. It just like it happened. Pushed it to the back of my mind and then now it's coming back up.
Well, I mean, do you want to talk about that first? We can go into that first if you
Yeah,
want.
let's go into that first real quick because I feel like that's going to be a relatively quick conversation because
Sure.
what you're talking about is yeah, that's going to be a longer
I'm just
conversation.
I'm just making a note to circle back to GPT-5.
Yeah,
Um,
GPT-5.
so with CapCut, recently we're trying to make more videos for Cooking Chew, okay? Which means I'm having to basically figure out what does that mean? What does that look like? And learn how to do it all with new tools because it's been a long time since I made videos because you manage all the videos for this channel. Thank you. God bless you. Um, and so I had to figure out what tool did I want to use, and because tools are important and because it drives the method of the process, the file management, everything.
Mhm.
So I started off, at first I was going to use Final Cut Pro, which is fine. I don't even think I've told you about all of this, what I'm about to tell you. So I started off using Final Cut Pro, and Final Cut Pro is a high-end, nice editor, but it
Mhm.
doesn't have all the cool stuff. So what I mean by that is the like Filmora, CapCut has all this stuff built into it now,
Right.
and they have commercial and just for non-commercial
Mhm.
stuff and like elements and stickers and animations and just transitions, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So when I made the decision to use Final Cut Pro, I needed to sign up for a service that I could buy assets from. Okay.
Mhm.
So I did. I signed up for a service. I did as good as I could possibly do of trying to understand the terms of
Okay.
this service.
Yep.
So the service that I signed up for, Storyblocks. Storyblocks, do not sue me for this video. Um, I mean that because I'm telling exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So signed up for Storyblocks, made some videos, published them on my socials, on our YouTube channel. They were getting a little bit of traction. Everything is good. And then we got an email from Storyblocks that we had violated the terms of our service, terms of
Okay.
service with them. Okay.
Mhm.
And we were like, what the crap? Andy got on a phone call with them and sorry, allergies. And things spiraled really bad to a very bad, expensive place very quickly.
Yeah.
So what they said was that we had the proper account for a business, all of that, or for our version of what we were doing. All of that
Mhm.
was fine. But whenever I signed up for the account, we have a business credit card,
Mhm.
like a line of credit. Really,
Yeah.
it's like an open line of credit
Right,
that's
right, right.
attached to our yeah. So the card that I used when I signed up for the account had her name on it.
Okay.
So I signed up at my computer. I'm the only person that ever did video editing ever,
Okay.
but I used her card. That was what I had in my bag. Didn't think anything of it. I don't even think I have one of those accounts with a card in my name.
Okay.
Okay. But they said that because her name was on the card and my name is on the email, that we had violated the terms of service and had to be upgraded to an enterprise account.
But what if your email isn't your name?
We went through every round of everything you can imagine, trying to clarify. I'm the only one. I do have multiple computers, but I'm the only one. I did all of my editing on this computer,
Mhm.
but I did sometimes log into Storyblocks from my laptop to look at things.
Mhm.
But that was my laptop, not Andy's.
Right.
And Andy didn't even know how to log into the damn account. Um, and so anyway, they wouldn't have it. I was wrong. So we canceled our account. I pulled down all of my everything, every video, everything,
Wow.
every
Yeah.
Facebook thing,
Mm-hmm.
everything I could find. I pulled it down. I made detailed notes on that. Canceled that credit card
Yeah.
um, because and that was that. So that meant I had to start over with everything.
Jeez.
Yeah. So now let's get to CapCut. So I finally do all of that with Storyblocks, close all of that down and remove all media. Everything is gone. I deleted it from my hard drives. It's gone.
Yeah.
And so didn't get my money back, of course, because I paid an annual fee to them, which sucked because I got a
An
big
annual
discount.
enterprise?
No. Just my
Oh,
annual for a creator like me, just the
yeah.
annual. Yeah. I don't need enterprise because I'm not on CNN, you know?
Well,
I'm
right.
not
Yeah,
CNN.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, I thought they like when they upgrade or when they changed your level or whatever, then they automatically charged you. And that I would have
No, but
a
they were trying to, which is
yeah.
why I canceled that credit card.
Yes.
So,
Oh, man.
yeah. So anyway, there's that. So it's like, okay, that's fine. I have to start over.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be far more judicious and careful. I'm trying to learn, right?
Right.
So I did my research. I even talked to you at one point. You were like, I'm using Filmora. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I decided to experiment with CapCut because they had some features that I just really liked. And I was like, okay, I'm going to sign up for the professional version of CapCut and pay the fee. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
Did that. Started making videos. Loved it. Loved the tool. Loved everything about it. I was super careful that I was only using commercial elements. All of that was fantastic. Everything was going great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I woke up last week, I think it was, and they
Okay.
had changed their terms of service.
Yep.
So the changes that matter the most are,
Yep.
and you're familiar, aren't you? Yeah. So are that anything you upload to your editor, they can use
Mm-hmm.
for any purpose, for anything that they ever want to, for perpetuity. Is that the right word?
Yep. In
Yeah.
perpetuity.
Yep. Which means, let's say that we had, let's say that I was with Taylor Swift somewhere and I had some video of it, but I'm not allowed to show Taylor Swift in the video, but I upload it to edit out Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
The part that I edited out and never published myself is now belongs to CapCut
Because you've uploaded it. Yep.
into my editor on my desktop.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I can't obviously live with that. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. That's not acceptable behavior.
Yeah.
Um and so and also, and this is the part that was the worst part of that. If Taylor Swift sued because CapCut used that clip of Taylor Swift, I am the one liable for that lawsuit, even though I never published it.
Yeah.
And that is the scary part. Because if you upload some content that you never use, never published, never put in a video at all, but it was uploaded into the TikTok editor system, and then TikTok pulls that out and uses it and then gets sued, I'm the one liable.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how that's possible, but it's in there and that
Yep.
is real. And so I was like, well, shit. So let me start over again. So now I'm using Filmora and I also just want to cry. But
Yeah.
Filmora is great too. I love it. It's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. And I'm using it and it's great. And let me tell you, it doesn't have any of these terms.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like this. So hopefully they don't change theirs. And here we are. So that's that story. What do you think about those terms?
I mean, yeah, on the one hand, I understand why It's a CYA, really. Like that's what it is. They're updating of their terms and services to include that very specific language is a cover your ass. Like they want to make sure that in the event that X, Y, and Z happens, that they are covered because they're like, well, technically it's our, like we own it or we can
Yeah.
use it or whatever, right? But also it it makes me it brings up questions to me about like, is this the start of a trend? Is this the start of something because I'm getting notifications, about my Google accounts saying that a lot like giving permission to Gemini
Oh,
to
yeah.
help with like organization and stuff like that, and allowing it access into my emails. It's like there's a risk in that because now Gemini, the AI, can comb through all of your emails.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
I
it's
think,
not in a little separate container anymore. Like there is something that can come in, pull whatever, and then swoop out.
yeah. I mean, I think at first, when this first released, people were comparing it to Facebook because the thing about Facebook, and I understand it's confusing, and
Mhm.
you're far more versed at understanding terms than I am. It's just something you've been more focused on. But with Facebook, if you upload something to Facebook, Facebook then puts it on their servers, which means that as long as you have it uploaded on Facebook, they have every right to it.
Mhm.
But if you delete it from Facebook, it's gone. In theory, they don't have
In
rights to it
theory, yeah.
anymore. Yeah. So, like, if you upload this video to Facebook and then we delete this video from Facebook, and then next month Facebook were to use it in an ad,
Mhm.
then they have broken their terms
Right.
and we could sue them.
Right.
But CapCut's saying no, even if it's deleted, it's ours now.
Right.
Now, the Gemini thing, I think that the implications of it going into your email are so much greater than anything I just outlined. Because, well, I mean, think about it. How many times have you emailed out, like I refinanced our car? That was done through
Yep.
email,
Yeah. Yeah.
credit stuff, credit scores,
Mhm.
all of that stuff.
Yeah.
True
Well, even
privacy.
even before what is it? The secure document sharing became
Right,
like the
right.
standard practice for CPAs. Yeah, like you're emailing sensitive information, like sensitive financial information that if somebody else had that file or that information, like they could go off and do all sorts of things with my
Mm-hmm.
identity, with my company information, like that. It's scary how much information is available out there that people who have nefarious intentions can
Mm-hmm.
they can screw up your life.
Oh, it's true. Andy's identity has been stolen multiple times now,
Mhm.
and it is just a mess.
Yeah. I have a
Like
freeze
people have bought
on my
houses.
yeah. Oh my God, really?
Yeah, they have bought cars. They have gotten jobs in her name. I'm not kidding.
What?
This has been a thing. It's a thing.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, she has the worst luck, by the way. The worst luck with people stealing her shit. Um,
Like
it's
I've
just
had my cards skimmed, like
I
people
haven't had that, thank God.
so
But I
so
know people have.
my card's been skimmed and every time it's happened, it's almost not necessarily immediate, but like it's pretty soon after something. So I know
Hmm.
where it happened. Or I have a strong suspicion of where it happened. And two of the times it was from a gas station.
Yeah, I hear about that a lot. That's terrifying.
Yeah. So now if it doesn't have like the tap or Google Pay ability, like I will not get gas at that. Like if I have to put my
Did
card
you
in
know
it.
that they're now have the tap stickers to steal that too?
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I've been
So,
seeing that yesterday in the news.
yeah. Well, I don't know if you know this, and this is totally like digressing, but like if I'm not getting gas from Costco, because Costco, you need to have your membership, so you have to scan your membership card before you can even put your card information in. So if somebody were to skim from Costco, like they're scanning a membership card, which is connected,
Uh-huh.
so at least
Yeah,
there's the okay, well, I mean, they could also be stealing somebody else's membership card too, but I'm just saying that, there's an additional layer of
that's interesting.
difficulty to
Yeah.
get through. So if I'm not getting gas at Costco, I'm getting gas at Exxon because
Okay.
Exxon Mobil allows you to pay through their app using
Oh,
Google Pay.
okay.
So that's two levels of like encryption or change or whatever,
Sure.
because my Google Pay gives a virtual card. Like it's a one-time virtual card number, that's not my actual card number. And then I am paying through the app. So it's pretty cool because like, so you tell it, you turn on your location or whatever, you open the app and then it detects what Exxon gas station is closest to you.
That's neat.
And then it asks you, what pump are you at? You type in the pump number and it activates the pump from the app.
Wow.
So I do
That's
everything from
amazing.
the app. I never have to take anything out of my car. So I'm literally sitting in my car, like doing all of this, and then all I have to do when I get out of my car is take it off the handle, choose what gas I need, and then pump, and then I can get back in the car. Which, by the way, again, this is a complete digression, but I think that is a pretty great feature for females to use
Yeah.
because I know every time I go to a gas station, I could just be hyper vigilant just because I have extreme anxiety. And, I've had situations happen where I just have trauma response when it comes to gas stations.
Okay.
But, like getting out of my car to pump gas, I, I feel like a freaking like PI or, because I'm constantly like scanning. I
Yeah.
before I get out of my car, I know how many cars are in the gas station that I'm in. I have taken note of the people that I can see
Oh
and
my.
the potential people that I cannot, like I have already locked in my head, these are my blind spots, so this is where I'm going to keep an eye out. And then when I start pumping my gas, like when I'm scanning my card, I'm constantly like a lifeguard. I'm constantly like check, 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 do whatever I need to do, check, check, check. So my
Yeah.
head's on a swivel. And it's just because, again, it's a trauma response from past experiences at a gas station,
Yeah.
all
Yeah. I
because
think
I'm a female.
I, this is going to sound funny, but I just assumed that that kind of behavior, because the moment I walk out my door, that's how
Yes.
I'm behaving.
Yeah.
Um, like
It's,
you should see the extremes that I will go to not walk next to a van, just as a
yeah.
random
Uh-huh.
example,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
It's a female thing. It's absolutely
Absolutely.
a female thing because
So
I
yeah.
unfortunately tell my kids that stuff. Like when we're walking through a parking lot, I will position them in a certain way so that I can see them, I can grab them easily. Like I'm on the outside, they're on the inside. If there's a van with like dark windows, we are crossing to the other side of the parking lot, so
Hmm.
that we don't have to walk past that van. And like these are just things that we
Well,
do.
like, and it's like walking between cars. I know a lot of people like to walk between cars to shortcut through.
Oh no, I
It
won't.
bugs me. I don't like that.
Mm-mm.
And excuse me. I mean, I just did it the other day and I was like, why did I do it? I know everybody else in the group was doing it, but I don't like doing that,
Mhm.
you know?
I'm more likely to walk like not in the middle of a parking lot, but like, you know, in the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. But yeah, wow, we digressed, didn't we?
Yes, we sure
Um,
did.
so
Sorry,
that's the
guys.
CapCut terms of service conversation.
Oh, that's what we were talking. Sorry.
Yeah,
That was my
yeah.
fault.
No,
I
no,
took
that
us
was
on a
great.
tangent.
That was great.
I was like, "Oh, look, a deer," and then followed it.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think it's that's the whole point of these conversations,
Yeah.
honestly. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I'll check that off. Um, okay, I'm gonna show you. Oh, GPT-5, which is how we got here.
Yes,
So,
okay.
I don't know a lot about this because I only got to ask my friend about it. I haven't watched anything yet myself, but Sam Altman just did some interviews apparently about GTP5, which is coming
Okay.
out soon, Chat GPT-5.
Mhm.
And I think one of the things that may come from it, I don't know. And I could be speculating too much based upon stuff that I've kind of seen. He didn't say this. I know for a fact he has not said this, but I am wondering if it's just possible that this is what Marie suggested to me, that perhaps we're about to get autonomous coding.
Okay.
And I was like, well, what does that mean? Right? Because to me, I'm like, cool. I don't understand the implications of that. There's so much happening that I just don't understand. So I was like, so what does that mean? What do you think that means? Go ahead and go to the worst case scenario.
I don't want to
Yeah.
because, well, haven't they said that, or hasn't it been said? Because I say haven't they said, and you have to define who they is, right?
Sure, sure. Hasn't it
Hasn't
been
it
said?
hasn't it been said
Reading
by
what's message.
No,
recruiters?
not you.
Oh, by job recruiters and like management and things like that. There has been an increase in basically people using AI to develop code and things like that, and it is riddled with mistakes and
Hmm.
glitches and bugs and stuff like that.
Sure.
So the word dependence is what I'm getting hung up on.
Interesting. Not where I expected you to take it, but that's interesting.
Well,
Um,
because you know me, I hone in on very specific things, and
sure.
then that's where I'm like, okay, I can't get past this.
Yeah, I understand. So I think with autonomous coding,
Okay,
the way that my
so it's autonomous. Autonomous to me is dependence, like because you're completely giving free reign control over to something. So now you are dependent on that.
it's funny that you're thinking of dependence because what I'm thinking of is it makes it independent.
Okay.
Well, because okay, so I asked my friend Marie, the one that I was talking to about this, that we're about to show her video.
Yeah.
Um, I said, "What does this mean?" And so she explained it to me like this. She has been creating GPTs of her own
Mm-hmm.
that do various things related to her area of expertise. She's an SEO expert,
Yeah.
and so she's been creating her own apps and things related to SEO in her field. And she told me a while back, and I thought this was really funny. She was creating this app and she was like, I just feel so irrelevant right now. And I said, what do you mean?
Okay.
She said, well, what I've been doing all day is asking chat to code me an app. I gave it all the parameters. We discussed everything, the ideation is what was her real job here. But then she has to take the code that ChatGPT wrote for her and put it in some magical place that makes it into an app. And so she said, so I will copy it from chat, put it in this app, this thing, whatever the tool is, in the tool, and then wait for it to run, analyze it, look at it, see any errors, go back to chat, tell it the
Okay.
errors, copy the fixed code into the tool, do it again until it was all done. She's like, literally all I'm doing is copying and pasting. And that's all I'm doing. And I've never felt
Oh.
more irrelevant.
Yep.
What is the point of me being here? I had the idea. Now I just need the app. Now,
Mhm.
this app was based upon many, many years of experience and expertise. So
Yeah.
what she brought to the table was the idea, right? And the information and the knowledge. And
Mhm.
then chat and this tool created the app, which works really well. And I got a good score on Cooking Shield, which is nice. But
Pat.
yeah, exactly. Just one time though, just on
Yeah.
one time on one article. But I'll take it. Anyway, so autonomous coding would be that the humans can get out of the way and the tool, GPT-5, for example, perhaps, would do the full coding for her, and then she could just review, approve, ask for changes. And that would be autonomous coding,
Mhm.
which means if that were to be true, everybody always said, learn to code, learn to code. The best job ever is learn to code. It's not true
Yeah.
anymore. The best job ever is to have good ideas to be coded in the first place.
Yeah.
So, it could be a in my opinion, it would be the next phase of the job killer phase in all of this. If we
Mm.
had autonomous coding, which
Mhm.
I still think, even if GPT-5, let's just say GPT-5 comes out after July 4th, and it's not autonomous coding involved in
Okay.
it, let's just say it's not, I still believe before this year is over that we'll have autonomous coding. And when we have autonomous coding, it changes everything, because you're right that there has been a lot of bad code released so far, or in all of this, like you were bringing up. But as you know, right now is the worst this will ever be. And normally improvements in IT development, improvements in digital development, computer, internet, all of that has been measured in years or decades, is now being measured in weeks and days on the improvements that we have.
Mhm.
So by the time they release it, it'll probably have a dramatic fewer errors in its
Okay.
coding,
Yeah.
is what I predict. So I think that's interesting. Now, I say all that to say, I just thought that was interesting, but it has nothing to do with the video I'm about to show you.
Okay.
The video I'm about to show you is a completely different thing with ChatGPT. So with ChatGPT, there's levels, right? There's the free, then there's the plus and pro, I believe. I know I'm on the plus. There's the $20 plan and the $200 plan.
Oh yeah, I'm on the plus,
Yeah,
which
so
is the
I'm on the
$20.
yeah, me too. I'm on
Okay.
the $20. Well, my friend Marie is on the $200 plan. And with the $200 plan, you can do all kinds of cool shit.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
Well, I heard a muttering.
Yeah, it was Alexa reminding me to water the plant, but the plant's dead. So
This is a reminder.
poor Seth. That was
Whoops.
for Seth. Yeah. Okay. So Marie did something that is so amazing. She wrote, for example, in this thing I'm about to show you, she wrote a blog post.
Uh-huh.
And she said, okay, now I need this blog post shared to X, to LinkedIn, and I want a newsletter written about this blog post and sent out. So it said, okay, operator, ChatGPT operator, I want you to do this. What is going to be involved in doing this? What do you
Mhm.
need? Can you do this? And it was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I can do this. So it did it and she recorded it. Have you heard about
Okay.
this? Have you heard about
No.
operator? Okay.
No.
Okay. So here we go. Okay. You see my screen? Hold on, it's
Yes.
just automatically started. So let's start over. So this is Dr. Marie Haynes. And I love that the first thing on her video is some chick. I don't know who that is. I don't think she knows who that is.
Is
Because
that
this is
Britney
just starting.
Spears?
I don't know. I don't know who it is. I don't think it's Britney Spears. But here's what she said. She said, I gave ChatGPT operator some instructions and sent it off to publish about my newly published article.
Mhm.
This time, I also had it log into ConvertKit, write the email, and send it for her. It asked me for confirmation first. Now I have this as a saved task. So the next time I write something, I can quickly get my AI assistant to post these things for her. So the
Mhm.
first thing, and this is important, every movement that you see, you're going to see mouse movements on the screen, is not her. It is the AI doing all of the work.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if you see right here where it says operator, do you see that
Yes.
in the middle of the screen? Okay. That is the AI. Over here is her mouse over here.
Okay.
So off to the side of the screen.
Yeah.
This is really fast. So let's watch it. She had put the image, told it where the images to find the images. So she said, hey, here's the drive where my images are. So, because it asked her a few questions before she started.
I had to move the video so I can see it better here.
It's making these decisions itself.
Okay, wait. But what about all the prove you're a human by check marking this box?
Yeah. So what she said was that she had to go through, I have the text from her. I'm not going to show this because it might be personal stuff, but I'm going to open it up and give you a general idea of what she said to it in advance. Hold on. Let's just say that it took so little that she was able to send it to me all in one screenshot, the entire chat. She said, do you think it's possible for me to teach you to post to social media about a new blog post I've created and also create an email and ConvertKit and for me to approve and send out to my audience? She was like, yeah, absolutely. Here, and then it goes through and says, okay, here's all the things I would need. And she was like, okay. So one time she wrote up some instructions for it in a Google Doc. Then she linked to that Google Doc because that's another thing. On the $200 version, you can connect it to your Google Drive and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So then she wrote up the instructions on her Google Doc. It asked a couple of follow-up questions about profile information. And it said, okay, the first time when we get to your, basically it said the first time I'm going to need login access. When I reach the login screens for X, LinkedIn, and ConvertKit, I'll pause and ask you to take over briefly to enter credentials, unless you've already logged on in that tab.
Okay.
So one of two things, either log in so that it's already logged on so that when it goes to that tab on your browser, you're logged in and it can just do it.
Right.
Or it'll pause and it'll pop up on the screen and ask you to log in.
Okay.
So then it wrote the summary for her and did it.
That's insane.
It is insane. It's completely insane. She released something else today. She sent it to me right as, oh, maybe it's not published yet, but she sent me something else right before, let me stop.
So is that something it's not publicly available or it is?
It is. Yeah, absolutely. You and I could have it right now if we wanted to. Yeah, it's public. No. You have to have the $200 version.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to have the $200 version. And Google has also released something similar to that.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, it's I think we talked about this recently, how the progression of AI is only going to be exponential. It's not a linear growth.
No.
And I don't even think we're at the steepest part of the growth graph, like the
Oh,
progression graph.
No, not at all. I
And
mean,
this is freaking me out.
well, Google also has a similar tool. It's called Mariner. The reason she's not using the Google tool is because it's not released. It's not approved for Canada yet.
Okay.
And she's Canadian.
Yeah.
Or she would use that. So Google has another version of this that essentially, supposedly, does the same kind of things. I haven't signed up for either one of these because she keeps testing everything and sending it to me. But this is the first time that I'm like, okay, maybe the $200 plan makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something else. We have this weird thing. We outsource some of our photography for recipes, right? We buy some recipes from a recipe creator, and when they send us the recipe images, they are terrible. These and they're photographers. That's fine. Not everything is everybody's job, but she has the one that we use the most has this terrible habit of just horrible image name file names.
Okay.
So when we get all of the images come in this bulk thing, and it's kind of annoying. So you have to go through and figure out, okay, this image goes with this step in the recipe, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's a very simple problem, but it's a time consuming thing. And it's frustrating because Andy and I are the only ones that can do it. I can't outsource that. I can't ask my assistant to do that. He doesn't cook anything. He's not going to know.
Right.
No clue. So it's just one of those things that's kind of, we're looking at every step of the process and how can we speed it up.
Yeah.
So today I had this thought. I was like, if I just opened up on my screen all the images, made them big and big enough, and then screenshotted them, and then gave the recipe to I wonder how well AI would do at matching those images to these steps. It did perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I couldn't believe it. I was so
good
shocked
for
at that.
it, but also like, okay.
Yeah.
So again, what are the implications of that? Like
Everything I have to talk about today.
I was going to say, you just, because this is essentially what you said, like AI replaced you, right?
Well, that's not even where it replaced me.
Oh, okay.
But unfortunately, are we able to pause this?
Yeah.
Can we pause?
The live stream?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or take a commercial break. I have got to go to the restroom.
Yeah, let me just
shame on me.
I was gonna say let's mute ourselves. I'll throw up the countdown.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I won't take
Sound
it a second. Sounds good.
Okay. Let me do that.
Okay.
That worked out real well. I should have like a we will return in,
That's a great idea. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then it doesn't have to have the intro, what is it? The intro, I was gonna say the intro text, the intro voiceover,
oh, right, the
but
song.
it could just be the music.
Could be, yeah.
And that's our break
I like it.
video. Anyways,
I
so
love
okay,
that.
so
Yeah.
continue.
Okay. So first of all, before I move on, did this with Marie's computer thing, did that blow your mind? Because that
It
blew
did.
my mind.
Yeah.
I just can't get over where that is. Again, this is the worst it'll ever be.
Right.
Because one of the things I keep analyzing every step of our process and what is something that I'm doing it because I'm the person sitting in this chair,
Yeah.
not because it requires skill or the human part. Because the human part is the writing of the content, the photography, the creating of the content. You know what I mean? Not the management of the content. That doesn't. I can create more content if I can figure out how to speed up the admin side, is really what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So the problem with that is something that we keep talking a lot about, and I know it is my most, because when Marie sent that to me yesterday, I said, I just have one question, but you know my question. What is my question? And she said, I know your question is, what are people going to do for jobs?
Yeah.
Because once we have autonomous coding, everybody's like, oh, well, coders, that sucks. That's a bummer. But if it can code, guys, we have right now in the state of Texas, I don't know if literally right now, but in general right now, in the state of Texas, there are 18-wheelers that are not being driven by humans driving from Houston to Dallas. Which
they are not being driven by humans?
That are not being driven by humans.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I drive from Houston to Dallas, and I drive with these semis frequently. I need to know what you mean.
All right. Hold on. I'll get it for you. Autonomous 18-wheeler, Houston to Dallas. Autonomous. Okay. Share my screen again. Can you hear that? Because there's a lawnmower guy here, and no. Okay. God bless you.
I was going to say, I mean, similarly, can you hear the chaos in okay. Yeah. Perfect.
No.
Great.
God bless Zoom.
I know. And it's noise canceling.
Yeah.
Which is, again, AI.
Right? Yes. Very good point. All right. I haven't seen this particular video, so we're going to do this full.
New at 5, driverless semis rolling down I-45. Tech firm Aurora just launched regular deliveries between Dallas and Houston.
But what about safety on the roads? Victor Jacobo asked the company's president.
Last week on the I-45 Houston-Dallas corridor,
we did something no one in the world has ever done before.
Aurora Innovation had a semi-truck without a human driver haul frozen pastries on its own, the first time a company has operated a commercial self-driving service with heavy-duty trucks on public roads.
How did it feel once you were able to accomplish that?
Yeah, it was an awesome moment.
I spoke with Aurora president Osa Fisher, who told me the company has rigorously tested the safety of its driverless technology.
We have tested this thing, as I mentioned, for years and millions of miles. We have had some of the best truck drivers in the world come and sit in the cab and actually observe.
The company's flagship product is the Aurora Driver, a truck with advantages over human drivers.
We have almost a 300.
Did you catch that? Advantages over human?
Yep.
60-degree view around the entire vehicle. We can see 4 football fields in advance.
Fisher says the
Jesus.
company's mission is to make roads safer, with their trucks not needing drivers who can be fatigued or need to make frequent stops. The company
Fair.
says it has its sights set on expanding driverless service to El Paso and Phoenix, Arizona by the end of the year, with safety its top priority.
We certainly hope that as we operate on public roads alongside of people, that we're not that noticeable, that we behave just like the safest driver you might encounter on the road. That's our goal.
And if you see one next to you, Fisher says to
So when you come up, is it next weekend?
It's the
will you-
the weekend of July 4th.
Yeah. Will you be
I will be looking in every single semi now.
uh
Like, is there a
look at
driver
that.
there?
I'm leaving that on the screen because that is creepy. Did you see the steering wheel? I mean,
Yeah, I did.
document the moment safely.
If you're tempted while driving to snap photos, please don't do so while driving. That said, we've definitely had passengers with their iPhones out.
In Houston, Victor Jacobo, KHOU 11 News.
Okay. Well, now I'm gonna have to keep my eye out for driverless semis and document that, because
oh,
although I do get it. Like, it makes sense why they want to do something like that, because like a lot of fatalities, or not even fatalities, a lot of accidents that happen on the road are because of not semis, right? Not just
Right.
semis. It's
Right.
because of tired, like fatigued drivers.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
fatigued drivers they're not as responsive. They are more easily distracted. Like
Tired driving
these
is
are-
drunk driving.
Yeah, these are very real concerns. So I get it, and it makes sense. It doesn't make it any less worrisome, only for the
Well,
fact that,
yeah.
okay, well, what are its evasive maneuvers? Like, if it's self-driving and there's not a person to react.
So there are 3.6 million professional truck drivers in the US right now, apparently.
Okay.
So to your point, let's say that this suddenly truly does become safer, then is it irresponsible to allow humans to truck drive?
I mean, is it?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
And listen, this is long haul, by the way. And so short, that last mile thing, that famous
Yeah.
phrase that we all hear now,
Yeah.
is still human driven currently human driven. Now I say currently because have we talked about what Amazon is doing about the last mile?
No. Not that I am
Okay.
aware of.
So I love to be the doom and gloom person. So Amazon is testing. This is not live testing yet. They're just working on it basically, at the shop, so to speak. Of they will have these AI driven vans that deliver to our houses, and
Okay.
then they're working on robots that will do the delivery part from the
Okay.
van to the house. So they're testing that out now.
Okay.
So soon they'll have literal robots that'll be dropping the things off at your porch.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, again, great. How am I supposed to react to this?
I know. I don't know. It's just information here. I mean,
Like, what am I supposed to do with this information?
it doesn't have a head. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Why do they have to make it look so human-like? Like, why can't it be like R2-D2?
I don't know. Maybe
Just like
maybe
the
because
package goes
such-
inside and then it's like,
I think the reason, because I've been thinking about this question too. I think that the reason is because the areas where the humans currently live, those of us who are still allowed to be here, the stairs, the houses, the steps, the driveways, everything is built for humans to move around. So therefore the robots need to be designed somewhat like us to move around efficiently in our world.
Okay.
So that's what I think. Because R2D2 is not going to do a great job at climbing the stairs at the apartments to deliver.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Sure.
Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of people currently handle delivery operations at Amazon globally. Amazon acquired the robotaxi Zoox in 2020, suggesting a desire to fully automate end-to-end package delivery from the warehouse to your front door. Yeah. And here it says that the robot will cost around $16,000, I guess, per robot. Much cheaper than hiring a human.
Okay.
Have I fried your brain?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I'm having a brain glitch.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's totally fine. I just, just brain glitchy.
Just checking things off our checklist here.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have not talked about me eliminating a process using AI, eliminating human. We have not talked about how you've been using ChatGPT, and we have not talked about how I use ChatGPT for support, for tech support.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
can we go over those just really quickly? Because I think my attention span is starting to wane.
Okay. Sure. So, how I use tech support. I use chat for tech support. This was so cool.
Yeah.
So what the deal was, I have this Rode, I can't show it to you, but I have this microphone is my podcasting mic that is very high end, very lovely. It's one of my most prized possessions, but it requires a lot of things that words I don't really understand, gain and power, essentially.
Okay.
To make it where you can hear it. So I bought this thing called the Rodecaster Pro 2, which is this giant looking thing over here on the side of my desk. Got all these lights and bells and whistles, all this just to make this thing work. And whenever I hadn't been using it because I've been just using a USB mic, but because of another tech issue, I needed to use this mic, essentially, just to make a very long story much shorter.
Yeah.
So I plugged in all the equipment and it would not work on my Mac desktop computer.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't work. And I was like, my God, what is wrong? So I finally, I was like, wait a minute, I'll go ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT was like, totally no, totally get it. Here's what you do. Started walking me through all the steps. So I was like, okay, did all the steps, didn't work. And then I was like, shit, it's not working. So I screenshotted what I could see on my screen, and it was like, well, on the device, I need you to go hit these buttons. I was like, those buttons don't exist on that device. He's like, oh, yeah, they have to. And I was like, no, they don't.
You're like, don't call me a liar.
Yeah. And he was like, huh, okay. So then I got out my phone and I opened up ChatGPT on my phone, the same chat that I was having on my computer, and I started taking pictures and video of the device.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then uploading it to ChatGPT, and I was like, here's what you see. And he would go off, do research. I could see that he was doing research, come back and be like, okay, got it. He'd say, okay, now on the device, hit these buttons, do this stuff, click on this thing, scroll through this stuff. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, now send me a screenshot from your phone, send me a screenshot. I'd send him a screenshot. He's like, okay, now go back to your computer, open up the software on your computer, take a screenshot, send me that screenshot. Took about 4 hours, but we finally got it.
Okay.
And I just was blown away by how multi-dimensional that whole experience was, because
Yeah.
I'm running my phone, talking to the chat, taking pictures, taking video. I'm on my computer, and he knew where I was and what I was doing. It would be like, okay, on your computer, do this, on your phone, do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just blown away. It was like having an IT person standing over my shoulder.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
honestly, that's pretty similar to like my experience with how I've been using Chat GPT. So you use it specifically for tech support, which is fantastic, right? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, now you have your own pocket tech support. And
Yeah.
how fantastic is that, right? So, I had mentioned this to you earlier, like before we started recording. So I have found myself going to Chat GPT more frequently than I go to
Yes.
Google search when I'm looking stuff up. So if I'm just like, if I have a question, usually I type in my full question in Google search, and then
Yeah.
it pulls up all the things. And then typically, depending on what it is, like I'll look at community forums. So things like Reddit
Reddit.
or
Yeah.
or even
Quora.
Quora sometimes. Although a lot of the Quora ones, I'm like, yeah, you have to sift through a lot of BS to find
Yes.
something worthwhile. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And what's really cool is like I showed you one of the questions that I asked it before and the response that it gave me. I'm not going to share it right now,
Right.
but
Right.
that like tunneled, I just thought it was really funny. So that ended up, I don't think I told you that the next, like what happened after that. So that turned into a whole conversation, right? About hang on, let me pull it up so I can just go through my thought process. This is how my brain works, okay? Gives you an idea. So I asked it a question, and then it gave me a response. And then I asked it another question, and then it gave me a response that said, "I'm sorry, I can't help with that request." And I was like, "Okay. So did I ask something against your rules, or did I offend you?" And then it responded with, "No, you didn't offend me. Your question is 100% fair game. What happened is that my last response was overly cautious." And so I was like, "Oh,
Wow.
that's kind of cool, that
Yeah.
it gave it to me." But then after I asked it that, it gave me a real response. It was like, "Okay, so here's you're absolutely allowed to ask these questions, or you're absolutely allowed to ask controversial questions." So I was like, "Okay, I appreciate your overcaution.
Mhm.
Um, since we're going down controversial rabbit holes, what's the take on Scientology?"
Oh, wow.
That's what I
Okay.
asked it, right? And then it was like, "Oh yeah, okay, strap in. Scientology is one of those rabbit
Wait,
holes."
wait. It said, okay, strap in.
Yes, it said,
I
"Oh
love that.
yes."
Yeah.
It said, "Oh yes, strap in. Scientology is one of those rabbit holes that starts with Tom Cruise and ends with a 3 a.m. Google search for 'Can aliens sue me for defamation?'"
What the crap is that?
So then it gave me a breakdown. It gave me a breakdown of what Scientology claims to be, why people get involved, and then why it's so controversial. And I was like, "This is really cool." So I was like, "All right, well, what's another controversial topic just for shits and giggles?" And then it picked topics for me. Renee, the topics that it picked for me were CRISPR and gene editing,
Okay.
trans rights and gender identity,
Okay.
AI consciousness,
Oh,
climate change,
that's okay. Yeah, it is. It
book
is.
bans and woke curriculum, and the last one, the electoral college. These are it's suggested controversial topics, right? And I was like, "Okay,
Damn.
these are so good. Let's do one at a time." So basically, it went
Yeah.
through like what it actually is, why it's a big deal, why it freaks people out, scandals, and then TLDRs. So this was like a really fascinating conversation that I was having with ChatGPT at like 11:30 at night.
Oh my
Um
God. How did you
so
sleep after that?
well, okay. so it turned into a conversation between me and ChatGPT, and I'm sharing it with my husband, some of its responses, because I'm like laughing. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
so funny
Yeah.
because it really is like having a conversation with one of my friends about this kind of stuff. Like we're having a back
Which
and
is
forth,
scary.
and it's like jokey but serious, like.
Have you done it through voice?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Okay. Because a
And
conversation like that with voice makes it even feel more like you're talking to a friend.
yeah, so this one I was just doing it through text because
Mhm.
Lance was watching something and I didn't want to continuously interrupt him more than I
Sure.
already was. Okay. So when we talked about AI consciousness and the controversy with that and things like that. Hang on, where did it go? Okay. Oh, okay. So for AI consciousness, it just threw in at the very end, it gave me the TLDR, and then it says, you want to go next level and get into stuff like the Chinese room thought experiment or the weird idea of digital reincarnation or the terrifyingly named paperclip maximizer scenario. And then
No, what is that?
well, I told it, okay, please tell me more about the 3 points you just flippantly threw in at the end, like you were talking about the weather. And then it responded with, "Oh, you caught that, huh? I like to casually toss in brain-melting concepts like croutons on a philosophical salad."
What?
So it went through the different things that I just mentioned, the Chinese room thought experiment, the idea of digital reincarnation, and then the paperclip maximizer, right?
Okay,
So
what is that?
okay. So the
I
Chinese
know you said your
room.
brain was melting, but I'm gonna need this.
Yeah. Okay, the Chinese room is a theory proposed by a philosopher in the 80s. It's a thought experiment, okay?
Okay.
So it's the like, is AI understanding real understanding? Okay. So the setup is, imagine you're inside a room. You don't speak a word of Chinese, but you have a giant book of instructions. When you get Chinese symbols through a slot, the book tells you exactly what symbols to return. So you do this flawlessly and you do it super fast. So to somebody outside of the room, it looks like you speak Chinese, but you don't. You're just following rules. So
Oh,
it's saying, that's like, the philosopher is saying that's what AI does. It processes the inputs, it gives the correct outputs, but it doesn't actually understand anything. So it's all
right.
syntax and no semantics, right? So the question becomes, if an AI passes the Turing test, which means it fools you into thinking it's human, does it actually understand, or is it just a glorified version of this room?
Yeah, I think that is the question, right?
Right? So that's really fascinating. And so I was like, okay, like that we could rabbit hole down that for a long time.
Yeah,
So that's the TLDR version of like our conversation about
sure.
that. The second one, the digital reincarnation, is like, upload my brain and make me immortal. So there's a Black Mirror. It's like a Black Mirror flavored dream nightmare where you scan a person's brain, like every single neural pathway of a person, right? You
Hmm.
upload that scan into a computer, and then now you have a digital version that thinks, feels, and acts like the original, right? So the question is that still you, or is it a copy with your memories? So if the original dies, does your mind wake up in the server, or is it just a doppelganger? And if we can do this, are we ethically required to? So what if your digital self doesn't want to exist anymore, but can't die? Right? And then it throws in at the end. The wild part, tech billionaires are literally funding this kind of research. Looking at you, Altman and Kurzweil,
Wow.
hoping to outsmart death like it's just a bad software update.
Okay.
And then the third concept is the paperclip maximizer.
What
So
is that?
so that's another philosopher, right? So the scenario is, we build a super intelligent AI and give it one goal: make paperclips. That's the goal. Okay. So it seems harmless until the AI decides humans are inefficient or might shut it off. It turns the earth into a paperclip factory. It melts down your grandmother's wedding ring to hit quota. Or it eventually turns the entire universe into paperclips because that's the job. So it's not about evil AI, it's about how a dumb goal can spiral if the AI is too powerful and lacks moral alignment. Right? Because it doesn't have rule. Its one goal
Yeah.
is make paperclips.
I think that is such, I think it's such an important point. Let's just say that's the goal and that it has taken over
Yeah.
and we can't make it stop. And so we are fighting this machine that we can't stop. And we're just covered and littered with paper clips.
Yep.
And there's paper clips on the moon. There's paper clips everywhere.
Yeah.
Does it make it an evil machine?
Right. Exactly. That's the question. Does it make it evil, or does it just
Yeah.
make it really good at the goal that you gave it?
Yeah. I feel like, and this is going in a whole weird place, but I feel like in some ways it makes me think of a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Because a soldier has a duty, and the soldier is supposed to follow orders.
Yes.
But it can refuse orders if it believes that it breaks ethics or rules. But that's human, right?
Yeah.
And so how does a machine figure that out?
Right. Yeah. Yep. That's a great question. But do you see how this all started from a Google query?
Yeah.
All I did was I Googled a question. And then an hour and a half later, my husband and I are talking about Star Trek. No. We're talking about Star Trek and okay, here. Because I told it, okay, we need to go back to the AI upload thing in a second. My husband just mentioned there's a similar debate about the Star Trek transporters. Do you know about this? And that's what I asked it. And then it said, oh, yes. Welcome to the Star Trek transporter paradox, aka the science fiction version of Am I Still Me after being turned into space dust and then reassembled like IKEA furniture.
Okay.
So your husband just dropped you into the nerdy center of a long-standing philosophical brawl disguised as a cool sci-fi device. So let's break it down. And then it talks about the Star Trek transporters. Like, do you know the theory behind the Star Trek transporters?
No.
Okay, so the theory behind the Star Trek transporter, or not the theory, but the moral philosophical implications behind it is have you seen the movie The Prestige?
Does that sound? I feel like I did.
It's with Hugh Jackman and
oh yeah, I just recently saw that. Yeah.
Okay. Like, they're magicians, right?
Yeah.
And then the twist at the end
was they were twins, right?
Okay, the big twist is that they're like for one set of magicians, it's their twins. But what about the other guy?
Yeah, what was I can't remember now. Can you remind me?
So every time he would perform the disappearing trick, right? So he'd be in a tent or whatever.
Would clone. It was a clone, right?
He would be close. But the thing is, like, the one version of them would drop into a case full of water, right?
Yeah.
Because he had to kill one of the versions.
That's right. I remember.
And then the whole question was, I never know if I'm going to be the man in the box.
That's right.
Or the one that lives.
That's right.
So that's the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's
God, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That is the Star Trek transporter question, because it takes every single atom, it makes a copy of it, and then sends the instructions to the secondary location to reassemble you, but the original you is essentially vaporized. But the copy is sent. So does that mean that every time a Star Trek character walks into the transporter, they are dying and being reincarnated or rebuilt somewhere else? And then is that really them, or is it just their copy? So like, are you making a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy every time you go into the transport? Yeah. So we ended up going, me and my husband ended up on this whole conversation about it. Like, we rabbit holed with ChatGPT all about it. I will share with you the ChatGPT chat.
Okay.
Talk about it, because it goes into quantum teleportation. So that night, my husband and I learned about quantum teleportation, and we had to ask ChatGPT to explain it multiple different ways. We kept telling it, dumb it down further. Like, we don't get it.
So what is it?
So quantum teleportation is, it is real. Quantum teleportation exists. But it is the movement of not an object, but like an essence. So the way that it finally explained it, where I understood it, okay, because it's not like person A is teleported to a secondary place, right?
Okay.
It's not that. It is, there's 3 elements always involved. Okay. There's object 1, object 2, and then a third object that has the essence that you want to transport. So for example, if it's like you have coin 1, coin 2, and then that third coin has a design on it, right? So that essence, which is the design, is given to object A, which makes a copy of it. But once it makes a copy of it, it destroys the original. Okay, so it makes a copy of it, but object B is the one that suddenly has it. It has the design. So that is quantum teleportation.
What are you talking about?
I know.
Oh my God.
Okay, so here's the example that it gave, and then I think we need to wrap it up, because
we'll talk
get
about
super
how I
long-winded.
replace myself next
Yeah.
week.
Okay. So here's the thing. So this is using people. Maybe that'll help you, because that's what helped me, right? Okay. So there are 3 people. There's Charlie, Alice, and Bob. Okay. So Charlie is the thing that's being teleported. So Charlie's vibe, like Charlie's essence is what's being teleported.
Look, is an essence. Okay.
Okay. Here's he has like a cool essence about him. Like, you see Charlie
I hear your words. Okay.
So you hear my words. Okay. So you see Charlie and you're like, Charlie's so cool. And he's got like this like classy, jazzy vibe to him. Okay.
I like Charlie. Charlie's
so
great.
Charlie's you see him and you're like, he seems like he's really cool, and he has like this jazzy, classy vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Alice grabs him and says, "Hey, I'm going to borrow your vibe, your cool, classy, jazzy vibe." So she vaporizes him. So he's gone.
Bad Alice. Bad Alice.
He no longer exists. Okay. But then she texts Bob and says, "Hey, Bob, tilt your bracelet 33 degrees to the left and think about saxophones." Okay, she's very specific about what she wants him to think. So Bob does that, and then he goes, "Whoa, I feel cool and jazzy." And then it adds in, "and emotionally unavailable. Am I Charlie now?" And then Alice nods. That is quantum teleportation. So it's not a physical, like, tangible thing.
But where did Charlie go?
Charlie's gone.
I don't like that.
Charlie is obliterated. But here's the thing, that's real. Scientists can
Oh.
actually do that.
How can they do that?
Well, this is the very
Not that I'm
dumbed down
overly
version because I had
surprised,
to
yeah.
keep asking. I was like, can you simplify it more? Like, just can you give me like real, like people examples? Like, because
Yeah,
I
got
don't
it.
get it. I'm not smart enough to understand this.
I am just not smart. Yeah.
So I'm sending you, I'm sharing this. Okay, I'm updating the link, copy. I am sharing this inside of our chat.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Let me do it on my phone. And then
Okay.
you just go through it. Just like read through the entire start to finish.
Oh
And
my
then-
God. I don't
and
know if
then-
I have that much time in my life. Okay.
But
but I will.
that's how my brain works.
I can't wait to see this.
It was
Okay.
it was a lot of fun. And then you know, like Lance and I had a huge conversation about it, and like we had a hard time falling asleep because we were just like, where do we go from here? You can't just
Yeah.
go to sleep after learning all of this.
I know we were doing that last night too, because we will open up ChatGPT on our Amazon device
Yeah.
and talk to it. And so yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
end up, yeah.
All right. So that's my big long
Oh, I'm
squirreling
tired,
and
girl.
yeah,
Tired.
I know.
Yeah.
But my attention span is like definitely like, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's thundering repeatedly right now.
Oh,
It
really?
is very bright outside, but I can see where the clouds are just like black. So we're about to get hit with a storm here.
Well, this is a good place to end it.
This is a good place to end
We
it.
did not discuss, the only thing we didn't get to, I think it's pretty good that we got to so much. The only thing we didn't get to is me eliminating myself. And we'll
I
talk about that
think
next
that
week.
deserves an episode all on its own, because this is so fascinating to me that you were able to accomplish this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that's the first and maybe the only thing that we'll go over the next recording.
Sure. It could be a really short conversation. Depends on how many questions you have.
I think I would have I mean, I have a
Yeah.
lot of questions now, so I think
Yeah.
if I sleep on it, I'm going to have more.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, guys, that was long.
It was long, it was fun, but this is what we love to talk about. So again, if you want to be part of these conversations, like seriously, like let us know, because we want to include you.
Absolutely.
Like let's invite you onto the live stream so that we can talk about it.
Absolutely. That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, enjoy
Awesome.
the rest of your day. I'm going to hopefully maintain power.
I hope so.
Yes, I hope
Okay.
so too. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh, hang on. Let me disconnect it here.